What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's going to be the Season 13 Ranked Split 1 tier list for Apex Legends Season 13. The other tier list we did, I think, a while back for the second split of Season 12 actually did really well, so figured I might as well do another tier list, and I actually been wanting to do a tier list with how many changes and all the entire ranked format overall this season, so if you guys like these types of videos, if this video does well, I'll keep on bringing you guys these tier list videos in the near future for the next split of Season 13 and onwards. So leave a like, subscribe, share the video. Gonna get right into this. On screen right now, got the tiers, SS tiers and stuff you're gonna be pretty much forced to play. You're gonna be seeing like every single game. Is the legends that are being played the most right now are the most crucial to actually rank up and do well in rank. They're the ones that are pretty much the ones you're kind of required to play to do well right now is the SS tier. SS are the top tier legends that you're going to be seeing in the majority of your games, if not every single game still. They're not like the top of the top tier ones, but they're still incredibly good, and you're going to be still picking them a lot in your games. A tiers are average, B is kind of below average. C tiers are more situational type legends that you're not going to be seeing too much, but you can still get away with. And then F tiers, the ones that you're never going to be playing. They're the ones that you play if you actually kind of want to lose, and otherwise you just won't be seeing them. So 100% opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Just keep in mind too, this is kind of going to be your average tier list just for your average ranked player. I'm kind of just an average ranked player, and I also play on the Switch, so I might have a little bit more bias for console players and people, especially like Switch players, so keep that in mind. But this can also apply to pretty much anything. I don't think it really matters too much. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below if I don't explain anything correctly, or if there's something I missed, or if there's something I didn't explain. So that being said, let's hop right into this. We got Ashe. Ashe is going to S tier. She's really good on Stormpoint. Just mainly because her ult, I think her ult gets a lot more value here, just because you're able to get the low to high ground. That's one of the things on Stormpoint you really need. That's the kind of thing she's always really compared to Wraith in that aspect, because they both have really similar ults. When it comes down to Stormpoint, Ashe is the better one out of both of those, and you're going to be seeing a lot of Ashe. Really good passive. Her tactical is still really good. Ult is still really good, like I said. Overall, just really good. Ashe has not really changed from last season either. She's still insanely good. Really solid pick, and you can really carry games. If you know what you're doing with Ashe and you're a really solid player, you can carry games with Ashe. Bangalore is going to B tier, kind of just situational. I don't think she's really that good right now. Like, you could still play her, get away with her. I think if there was a map to really play her on, you can maybe get away with her on Stormpoint, but there's just nothing really special about Bangalore right now that really puts her anywhere that's worth playing. And especially with a lot of the more top tier legends right now being scan legends. One called Bloodhound, which we're going to talk about next. She kind of gets shit on by a lot of those. So. And like half her kit pretty much becomes useless. So not really too much crazy about Bangalore. Kind of just your below average, mid tier type of legend that's always going to kind of be there. Up next, we got Bloodhound. Brain Dead. Bloodhound is the first legend in this tier list that I'm going to call fucking Brain Dead, because he is fucking crazy. I think he is actually a must-pick legend right now, especially on Stormpoint. And with the new overhaul rank changes, ranked is sweatier than ever. And what goes better with sweaty players than anything? Bloodhound is one of those legends. You're going to be seeing Bloodhound in like all your games. I think he's actually a must-pick and must-play right now. You just need him. He is. You click one button and you get so much information. It is fucking crazy. His passive is crazy good, just for hunting down other squads, or even like keeping track of where other teams are moving around to. Just being able to track stuff with your passive, where people are going, if they've healed, if they were battling, stuff like that. It's just crazy good. And then his ult gives you movement speed, it gives you thermal vision, and then it gives you spammable scans on like a 5-second cooldown. You can't get any more better than that. You're going to be seeing Bloodhound in like every single one of your games. I think he's one of the legends in the game right now that needs to be just fucking either reworked or nerfed into the ground, because I fucking hate playing against him. And he doesn't really have that much counterplay, just because he's just so spammy. He's just so brain dead. It takes pretty much no effort to actually make him work, and all he really is just clicking one button and then learning like a ton of information. That's pretty much what he really is. So if you want to do good in ranked and you want to rank up really fast, just play Bloodhound. You click one button and you use your passive to track people, and then when you have an ult up, pop it like before you start fighting or during a fight, and you just fucking run at people and know where everybody is. There you go. Caustic on Stormpoint A tier. I'll put him A tier. I think he's solid right now. Like, he's not crazy. It kind of depends where the circle closes at. He can hold down areas still really well, but I don't think he's as crazy. I think he's a lot better on the other maps. I think he's better on World's Edge and King's Can and stuff. I think Stormpoint, he really isn't the greatest. But it kind of just depends where the circle actually closes. Like, he can still hold down, like, outside areas pretty well, but it's just kind of depends on the circle. And a lot of the circles that are on Stormpoint like to end out in the open, and that's not really what he does. He doesn't really do that very well, especially on this map. Still good, though. Like, his ult does crazy damage, and he's still really annoying. Crypto's going to A tier. I think he's really good. He's just one of more of those legends that's kind of situational because you got to pair a team around him. I think he works a lot better with, like, a Crypto, like, as a support or, like, a backliner, just getting information and having, like, two other aggressive legends or something like that. One with mobility and one that should just kind of be, like, an entry fragger or, like, a mid-tier fragger. Just go in and kind of start a fight and then fall back as you get some information. He kind of just pairs. It depends what you pair him with, but overall, he's pretty good. I'd say he's A tier right now. Fuse, actually, I'm going to put Fuse S tier. I think Fuse is actually the best he's been. As you guys don't know, Newcastle got put into the game this patch, and I think one of the best checks in the game to Newcastle is Fuse. You guys are probably asking yourself, oh, why is he such a check to Newcastle? What the fuck does Fuse do to Newcastle that checks him? I don't know. The knuckle clusters just do shit tons of damage, like, especially like in the late game. You're going to have Newcastle's actually really being played right now, too. He's actually really good. You're going to see him in a lot of your games. Spoiler alert for the end of this list. But Newcastle's in a lot of the end game circles. With his tower wall, you can just throw knuckle clusters at it, and the knuckle clusters do a fuck ton of damage. And then you have Motherload, which pretty much checks his ult. You can dump a Motherload right on top of Newcastle's wall, especially if you have some of his team downed or, like, really severely wounded, and they're trying to heal up, and they're trying to use batteries and medkits and try to get back to full health. Dump a Motherload on their ult and just push them, and you're guaranteed to usually win that fight. I think he's just incredibly good. He's one of the best checks in the game to Newcastle, and Newcastle's being played right now, and not many people really realize that Fuse is a really solid check to Newcastle, especially when you can just throw a knuckle cluster at his shield, too. Like, you check his passive, too. The knuckle cluster does enough damage to break Newcastle's passive with his tactical shield. So it pretty much makes it useless. You throw a knuckle cluster at it, and after about 3 seconds, it's gone. So, not many people are talking about that, but that's the reason why I'm going to put him S tier, just because he's a really good check to Newcastle right now, and that's one of the reasons you can actually play him if you really want a solid check to Newcastle and you're afraid of him. You not really need to be afraid of Newcastle. Like, he isn't crazy, like, broken tier good, but he is incredibly good. So, Gibraltar, here's legend number 2 that's just absolutely broken, like brain dead. Pretty much what you do with Gibraltar, guys, you pick up a shotgun, and you pick up like a mid-tier to long-range weapon. You poke from mid-tier range behind the gun shield, and you try to do more damage, and you do poke damage until your gun shield breaks. You wait till your gun shield's back, and you repeat. If they die of you, or if your team gets hurt, or if somebody on your team gets down, you throw it on a shield that has no counters in the game, apart from Crypto EMP and Mad Maggie's Drill, which is the only 2 counters in the game that can actually, like, legit get rid of it or actually, like, burst through it and do damage through it. You put down a guaranteed dome over your team that gives you extra reviving, and you revive up everybody, and you heal up in about 10 seconds, and by the time the enemy team pushes you, you're back to full health. And you can play the dome game where you just shotgun people inside and outside of your dome. Fucking brain dead. I hate Gibraltar. He's just not fun to play against, and he's not fun to watch, especially in pro play. Like, I'm not really talking about this list, it's not for pro players at all, but even in pro play, he's just fucking boring to watch. He sucks. Can we please rework Gibraltar, or just fucking nerf him into the ground, because I'm so sick of him. Not only does he have a gun shield, he has an ult that's a huge AoE and that lasts for like 10 seconds and does a fuck ton of damage. And on top of that, he has a shield that has pretty much no checks in the game still. That is pretty much a guaranteed free revives and free heals every single time. That has pretty much no checks unless a team pushes you. And even then, by that point, when they push you, you're probably either fully revived or you're fully healed up at that point. And you're with a full reset, pretty much. A free reset at any time for free. broken. You're going to see Gibraltar in a lot of your games, and there's a reason why you're going to see him is because he's still fucking busted and needs to be either reworked or nerfed into the ground. One of the legends of this season that you're going to be wanting to pick in a lot of your games too. I think Gibraltar and Bloodhound are insane comp that you can just round out with anything right now. Horizon, S tier. Horizon's really good on Stormpoint. Really is. Not really much with her has changed, but she's always been really good on Stormpoint, and she's still really good there. Black Hole's great. Her passive's great. She really makes use of the gravity cannons. So overall, just really kind of what you really want out of Legend. If you can play Horizon really well, you can still do really well with her. Lifeline, wow, F tier. Putting her in F tier. Garbage. There is no reason to pick Lifeline at all. Her ult's garbage. It got phased out of the game pretty much with the new was it the loot armories or the armories or whatever they added to the map where you can get just whatever loot you want. All your ult does is just really call down like a beacon and just tell people where you are. That's all it really does. And especially with how sweaty ranked is right now, like you can't do that. Maybe last season you could get away with playing Lifeline and just calling down ult as much as possible and doing that. But right now everybody's just pushing people for kills and just diving on kills whenever they can because ranked is just so fucking sweaty and it's so difficult to rank up right now if you don't have kills and place in the same match. So people are just being sweaty as fuck, and if they see a Lifeline care package floating down from the sky, they're going to run right at you. I'm sorry, every single team, at least for me this season that I've tried to play with her, every time I call on a package, I have somebody come third party us, or we have somebody just dive on us, like legit, like a minute or two afterwards. If she's garbage. Her drone's okay, like having the revive and is still good, but like, what does she even do? She's useless. She's garbage. She needs an entire rework, or she needs like an entire to be buffed into oblivion to actually make her good. I think the only way you play Lifeline right now is if you pair her with like a team comp that she can actually work with. She does pair okay with Newcastle on the same team, and maybe Rampart now. Apart from that, I would not play her at all. I don't think she's good. I just don't think she's good. There's no reason to play her, and that's the real problem. It comes down to Lifeline, which is really sad. Loba, A tier. Kind of just your average legend. Really good for getting loot. Really good for getting bandages and syringes and everything like that out of there as well, especially late game, because they actually did decrease the spawn on shield cells, batteries, and I think med kits and syringes this season by 8%, so it's a little bit more difficult to find them, especially late game. Being able to just pull them all together and take them out of her black market's great. Seeing the loot through walls is also really good, so you don't have to waste time just trying to loot a building when there's nothing good there. So, got Mad Maggie. I'm putting Mad Maggie at an A tier. I think people are sleeping on Mad Maggie. I really do like it, especially with Newcastle being added to the game. And Rampart. Like, another thing with like this update, Rampart got buffed a lot this patch, and I think she's actually really solid and probably the best she's ever been. You're seeing her run on a lot of comps right now as well, with certain team comps, which I'll talk about. One of the best checks in the game to Rampart and Newcastle is Mad Maggie, so by default, like, she's better this patch anyways, with one new legend being added to the game and then Rampart getting buffed, so I think people are sleeping on Mad Maggie. Like, yeah, it's bad because the Mastiff got taken out of the ground, which does hurt her. But if you can get the Mastiff out of the care package, she's pretty much unstoppable. She is legit a fucking wrecking machine by herself with a Mastiff out of the care package. So it's kind of a double-edged sword because you have one less shotgun to pick off of the ground. But if you can get out of the care package, you can pretty much just 1v3 a team. I don't know. I think a lot of people are sleeping on her. If you guys haven't played Mad Maggie, I think you guys are really sleeping on her. A lot of people are sleeping on Mad Maggie. I think she's just really good. She has a lot of potential, and people just aren't really either unlocking her potential or aren't really giving her a chance. She's really good versus Newcastle, too. Newcastle, it's great versus. Her Riot Reel can be used to go just do chip damage or even like prevent reses from when Newcastle uses his castle wall, or even behind his red shield. You can throw a Riot Reel right when he's trying to res somebody onto the red shield, and you can kill whoever he's reviving. That's huge. Not many people are talking about that. That's one thing she can do, and no other legend in the game can do that. You can put a Riot Drill through his tactical as well with his shield, make it pretty much useless. She's good into Gibraltar. Gibraltar's in almost every single game and almost every single team right now. She is really solid into Gibraltar because she is one of the only checks in the game to his dome. Granted, it's not really a super crazy check because you can still play around it, and most of them still can play around it. But still, it is a check, and it's one of the easiest checks in the game to a dome. All sleeping on Mad Maggie. If you guys haven't played Mad Maggie, get good at her and play her a lot. I've been playing her a shit ton, and she's one of my new favorite legends. She really is. I've been playing the absolute shit ton out of her the last like 3 weeks to about a month now, and I fucking love her. She's great. Plus, her ult is really good too. It's really good, and it charges super fast. Mirage F tier garbage. Not going to talk about him. He needs an entire rework. He does nothing. He is legit worthless. There is no reason to pick him unless you actually want to lose. If you pick Mirage over any other legend on this list, above him in this list, then you're pretty much throwing, and I'm going to fucking automatically report you just for picking Mirage in my ranks games. Octane, S tier, really good on Stormpoint, just being able to move around fast, especially with the jump pads. That's a huge value, and it's one of his best maps. The jump pad's great too, just for getting from low to high ground or high ground to low ground in like 1 or 2 seconds. It's great. Not going to talk about him very much though. Pathfinder B tier. It comes down to kind of the Pathfinder player. If you're a crazy good Pathfinder, then you can make them work. But if you're just like your average player and you don't really play him that much, you guys want to have a good legend. I wouldn't say he's really that good. It kind of takes skill to play him to actually make him work. And even then, he's still not really that good. Rampart got buffed. I'm putting Rampart in an A tier. I think she's actually really solid. Like, she's not crazy. You're not going to see her in every single game or on every single team. But you're seeing her now, played now, probably more than ever before. And she actually is being built on certain teams. Pretty much what they did, they made her wall stronger on deployment, and they decreased the time it takes to deploy, and then they actually took away a bunch of the spin-up time for Sheila. So the spin-up time is pretty much instant on Sheila now, which is crazy, which is probably the highest DPS thing in the game, apart from like the Kraber, probably. She's really good. And one of the things that's actually being ran right now, and I'm seeing a lot, is actually a team comp of Rampart, Revenant, and Newcastle, which is a huge, like a really good team comp, and I've seen it play a lot, and it's actually doing really well. So, I don't know. She pairs with a lot of other legends right now that are really good as well. Like, she pairs really well with like Crypto, she pairs well with Caustic, she can pair well with like any of the other legends. She pairs good with Wraith, Newcastle, even Watson, Valkyrie. She can just pair like with anything really well, just because she's actually useful now, and she actually does shit. She's able to get her abilities off without being pretty much deleted instantly, and actually able to set up now, which is really good. Those of you guys that play Rampart too, and the Spitfire is actually back in rotation too. You got to keep that in mind. The Spitfire is back on the ground loot, so I fucking hate the Spitfire, and I think it's a cheese weapon. But if you're playing Rampart, I would pick up the Spitfire. If you pick up the Spitfire and you're not playing Rampart, though, you deserve to be... I don't know, you're just fucking garbage. I fucking hate people that play the Spitfire, because it's a brain-dead weapon. You just pick it up off the ground, you just aim and fire until the clip runs out, and that's pretty much all you do. It takes pretty much no aim and no skill at all, but the only person that I would say that actually requires a Spitfire and should be picking up is Rampart. And that's on the ground loot now, and she makes really good use of it, so. Revenant, I'm going to put Revenant a B tier. The problem with Revenant is by himself, he's kind of garbage. It kind of just depends on what team you put around him. If you put a good team around Revenant, he can work, but it just depends on what team you put around him. If you pair him with like a team that's can go off his totem, or like off of, like with him as... pretty much like paired with him, like an Octane or like a Horizon works really well, even like an Ashe or stuff like that. Like paired with him, actually can make him work. But apart from that, like by himself, I don't think he's that good. It's more of like a team dependent type legend right now. Still being played though, you still do see him once in a while. Seer A tier. The reason why I'm not putting Seer higher is just because he takes a lot more skill to use than Bloodhound. There's just no reason to play him over Bloodhound. When I can play Bloodhound, click one button and just look around and get like 10 times more information than I can with Seer. Like, Seer is good, but it comes down to the player. If you're a good Seer or not. If you're just an average player, like, you're not going to be able to make them work. And it takes skill. You actually have to line up your tactical to actually get value out of it. It gives you more value with like the health bars and the shields, but you got to line it up and actually land it onto people, opposed to just clicking a button and learning where people are instantly. So And not to mention, your ult is huge, and it's still, you throw it down, and like everybody that's around can just run in and third party you. That's the problem with this ult right now, especially on Stormpoint, and especially in these sweaty lobbies. If you don't finish a fight easily and really quick with his ult, and you're fighting longer than like a minute or two, you're going to get third partied. By the time you finish the fight, there's going to be another team waiting there for you, and you're going to get third partied, and you're going to get sent back to the lobby because everybody can just see his ult from way across the map. Because it's like looking into space, and you see this big ass fucking star out in the middle of all these other little stars in space, and you're gonna go right to it. Especially if you're just looking around, you're running around looking for a fight. Like that's where you're gonna go. You're gonna see a seer ult, and you're gonna go right to that. And go third party whoever's fighting. Valkyrie, I want to put Valkyrie at SS tier. I don't think she's branded as the two legends in SS tier though. Like I think she's required on every single team, but I don't think she's actually like a brain dead legend. She did get nerfed this patch too, so I don't even think she's even as good as last season. Even though people are still saying she's even better somehow this season than last season, I don't agree with that at all. She got nerfed this patch. If you guys don't know, you can't spin in the air now with your ult. You can only go one way into the air when you're floating up into the sky with your ult. You can't spin as you're going up into the air, so you're a lot easier to get shot down and take damage. I don't know. I think she's really good, and I think Valkyrie, the main reason why you're going to pick her is just mainly for her ult. Like, her tactical and her passive are great too, but the reason why you pick her is just mainly for her ult, and I don't think she's really brain dead. It's just because her ult is really good. And specifically on Stormpoint too, where there's only one air balloon you can actually use to reposition on the top of the map. Like, it just is a no-brainer. You got to run Valkyrie. And you're going to be seeing her on pretty much a lot of teams and on a lot of your games. I think she's pretty much on almost like 90% of teams. I don't think she's really because she's broken, just mainly because her utility is just too good to pass up, and that's the problem. It's not really a problem either. Like I just think maybe they should actually nerf some of the other legends and buff some of the other legends that are below this to up to her level, and maybe we'll have more stuff on her level. I don't know. I don't think she's broken at all. I think she's balanced. It just comes down to what map she's being played on for the ranked season and like what else is being played currently around her for that season of ranked, and whatever else is really good or bad. Watson, I'm going to put Watson at I think B tier. I don't think she's as good on Stormpoint. I really don't. Like, even with Rampart being buffed, like, I'd say Rampart's better than Watson right now. I really would. And especially Caustic. I just don't see her being played. I don't think there's really a reason to really play her. She can lock down buildings pretty good, but apart from that, like, there's no reason to really play her at all. Like, she doesn't really do much, and you can just stick her onto a team as, like a third wheel, kind of like a backliner type support legend, but even then, there's still so many better options. Wraith, I'm putting Wraith at I don't know, I want to put her at an S tier, just because if you're a sweaty Wraith player, like almost everybody is that usually plays her, just sweat their ass off with playing her, and just the only legend they really play, you can make her work. She's still really good. At least on Stormpoint, though, if I were to choose between Ashe and Wraith, because they kind of do the same thing, I would choose Ashe over Wraith, but I do think them being in the same tier is fine because they can still both work really well. And they do kind of the same thing, but one doesn't have vertical mobility, but another one has a portal, which you get a lot more range out of, and you can actually use a lot differently, so I don't know. And they got Newcastle. I'm putting Newcastle in S tier. Newcastle's great. He's not really broken tier, but man, is he really good. He is insanely good. If you guys missed my Newcastle video, I threw up a video like my first impressions of Newcastle about a week or two ago. Go check that out at the start of the season. I'll put a link to that at the end of this video if you guys missed that. But really good. Really good passive. Retrieve the wounded's great. The revive shield's great. Being able to actually revive people faster based on your knockdown shield is a really good thing to have. Really good ult that charges actually really fast. You can leap across half the map with his ult and slam down onto somebody, or even in an area and just hold down an area. Really good for late game. Like, he's out everything you really want. Really good tactical too. Like, you can kind of push out into an open area just based off his tactical, and then kind of get some chip damage and kind of play around that until it goes away or expires or just gets shot down. Just really good. Newcastle's really good as like a support legend, just to hold down the team. It depends what legends you pair with them. If you can pair some really good shit with them, like a Wraith, like all these legends up that are like either an A tier or like even above in the same tier or above, all pair really well with him. There are some in the lower tiers you can pair well with him. Like you can pair Lifeline with him as well, and it'll be almost impossible to kill your team because you're constantly going to have somebody trying to revive each other. So that makes it more difficult for the enemy team. But like you can pair her with Newcastle too, and that's probably the only use she kind of has. They probably the two best pairings right now with Lifeline and Newcastle together. But apart from that, like you can it just comes down to what you really pair him with. He pairs really well with the majority of the legends in the game. I think he's a really good addition to the game. Let me know what you guys think about Newcastle in the comments down below. But I think he's really good. And I am seeing him play it a lot right now, and he's actually being fit onto a lot of team comps, kind of either experimenting or like being made into certain comps, like I was talking about earlier, with like Rampart, Revenant, Newcastle. Really cool comp that's actually been doing really well. Like more of a defensive comp, but if you do get dove, you have to totem, so you can kind of play around it or whatever, and kind of comes down to how you want to play. So, I don't know. That's the tier list, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, leave a like, subscribe, share the video. I do plan on doing a weapons tier list sometime in the future as well, depending when you guys are seeing this. I got a ranked discussion video talking about the new ranked rework for Season 13 and how it's going so far and what I kind of think of it. That should be going up. Either it has already went up or it will be going up shortly after you guys see this video, and a bunch of other stuff. I stream Apex Legends and a bunch of other games as well, so if that interests you guys, feel free to subscribe. We stream ranked, we stream just pubs games, a lot of stuff like that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in a future video.